Today I'll talk about Proxy Server. Before going to the details of Proxy Server, first we should know what does it mean, proxy. Actually, proxy means to represent someone else, or you can say unauthorized to act on behalf of another. Proxy server may be a computer system or an application running on a system which acts as an intermediary for requests from clients seeking resources from other servers. So what does it mean? So in this, a client machine sends a request for any resource to the proxy server instead of the actual server containing the resource. The proxy server communicates to the actual server on behalf of the client machine. This way, through the proxy server, communication between the client machine and the actual server takes place. So, proxy server is working in between client machine and the actual server. In the background image, you can see that client machines are connected to the proxy server. Further, the proxy server is communicating to the actual server through internet. Now the question is, if we can communicate to the actual server directly, then why do we use a proxy server? The answer is very simple. Because we get some benefits. What are those benefits? Let's see one by one. First thing, the access of resources may take less amount of time as a proxy server saves the resources in its cache memory from the actual server. So when the client request is for some resource, instead of forwarding the request to the actual server, the proxy server retrieves the resource from its cache memory. For example, you are using a proxy server. So now you have asked for some resources to the proxy server. According to the mechanism, proxy server should retrieve the information or resource from the actual server, and then it will provide you that information. So in this case, it will take some time. But say before you, somebody else asked for the same resource, so already proxy server has saved that resource in its cache memory. So when you are asking for the same resource, instead of forwarding the request to the actual server, proxy server is retrieving the information from its cache memory and providing you. So definitely it is going to take less amount of time. So this is one kind of benefit we get from a proxy server. Second thing we can say, a proxy server maintains the records of all login information. So for auditing purpose, those information can be used. So who is asking for what kind of request? Proxy server is keeping the records of all those things. All those informations are there in proxy server. So for auditing purpose, those informations may be valuable. Next point, we can say proxy server can be used for security purpose. There is a very less possibility of hacking or cracking of network if proxy server is being used. So for security purpose also, proxy server is working. Actually, proxy server is working as a cover between client machine and the network. The access of the resources by the client machine can be controlled by the proxy server. So proxy server can also be used to control the resources which will be available for the clients. For example, in any organization, some websites can be restricted by using a proxy server for the employees. So employees will not be able to use those resources, as already it is mentioned in the proxy server that whenever the proxy server will get such a request, it will not forward the request to the actual server. Most importantly, we can say nowadays proxy servers are being used for access enhancement. What is that access enhancement? Using proxy server, it is possible to access those websites which are blocked in our network. Just opposite of the previous point. So using proxy server, we can access those websites which are already blocked in our network. So up to some extent, it works like VPN. You are very much familiar with VPN because in my last video I talked about VPN. But these are different in nature, means this VPN server and proxy server, these are different in nature. How? The communication between VPN server and a client machine is fully encrypted. We know that encryption process is there. So the communication between VPN server and a client machine is fully encrypted. But there is no encryption in case of proxy server. So encryption tunnel or channel, that is not present in case of proxy server. I hope you have got enough information about proxy server. Okay.